Welcome to Relationship Global Show. Today I want to talk to young people who are there and they want to get into a stage of getting a life partner. I know it reaches a point whereby you want to get a helper, somebody whom you are going to live with the rest of your life. And many a time we prepare ourselves for wedding, but we don't take time to prepare for the marriage, because we want to make people happy and we fail to understand the thing that we are getting into. So it is my advice and humble request, if you're a young person, please prepare yourself for the marriage more than the wedding. So today I want to talk about 3 mistakes that you can do as a Christian young person who wants to get into a relationship to find the life partner. Be very keen and listen to these mistakes. Please never ever make these mistakes, because you may regret in future, and no one will rescue, because you will have entered to a place whereby you didn't hear the advice of your elders. Mistake number one that you can make as a young person in the dating process is to plan to marry somebody who is not your friend. Marrying a person who is not your friend is a very big mistake, and you have to avoid that. Make sure when you want to get married, when you find your life partner, or when you find somebody whom you want to marry, make sure that person is your friend. And if it's not your friend at the first moment, you have to cultivate the spirit of friendship, because in marriage it's all about intimate. And do not be deceived by how the society has painted the issue of intimacy. Intimacy is not about only sex, but it's about friendship spirit, whereby there's a lot of companionship between you and your partner. So imagine you have that wife of yours in the room. Can you stay with that person without touching her or him, without thinking of having sex, but you don't get bored? Make sure you get somebody whom you can be with him or her without sex, but you feel good. You feel good walking with him. You feel good having fun with him. The life becomes so sweet if you have somebody whom you understand to each other. There's one guy one time who got married, and after 3 months, he told his wife that I'm going to see my friend Elizabeth somewhere. And he has left his wife in the room and he wants to go and see his friend somewhere else. Please, please, I tell you, intimacy is not about only sex. It's about companionship. It's about closeness. It's about spiritual connectivity. So make sure you get somebody who is your friend. Please, if you are dating currently, make sure you get somebody who is your friend. Now, mistake number two that you can make in the dating process is lack of clarity. When somebody approaches you and he tells you that he loves you, you have to be very clear what kind of love is he saying, and what is the vision, what is the purpose of that love. Because even the Bible has said that where there's no vision, people perish. So if you tell me today that I love you, you have to tell me, when are we going to get married? Don't enter into a relationship where there's the end result is not clear. Some people, they may come and play with you. I have seen many young people in the church today. They have so many exes because they went into a relationship without clarity, and the other part did not ask whether this relationship, where this relationship is going to take us. Make sure when somebody comes and asks you that he or she wants to date you, ask him, when do you plan to marry me? When do you plan to go to my parent, to go to my pastor, so that we can make this thing formal? Because many young people, they come to you, they date you, and the first thing that they'll ask from you is about having sex with you. Let me tell you one thing. premarital sex is very bad because it ruins your value and it makes you to be desperate. And even if things you see in the process, you see things are not working, you may not get out from that toxic relationship because you made a mistake of sleeping with that man before marriage. So if somebody comes to your life and he wants to date you or she wants to date you, please ask for clarity. Where are you going in that relationship? When have a date, when are you going to get married, so that you tell him or her to wait until that day you get married and have sex. Mistake number 3 that you can make is to get into relationship without involving the premarital counselors. Please, if you get into a relationship, remember you are two different people from different background, different culture, different perspective. So if you get somebody whom you plan to get married, please involve a premarital counselor, somebody who is going to assess your is not the teacher. You know, premarital counselor is not the teacher of marriage, but this is the person who has the skills to assess the different perspectives of marriage that each of you hold. Because if you enter to this relationship and your wife has a different perspective and you also have different perspective with your wife, it will be very hard for you to live together, because now you will not become one. Everyone will be thinking in his or her own way, and adjusting it will take much time, and sometimes it may not, because you did not involve premarital counselor to assess the perspectives. When you talk about the perspective of marriage, it's about the belief system of marriage. This belief system has been cultivated, or it has been ensured by your parents at home, how you saw your parents behaving. So the premarital counselor will enter to that stage whereby he assesses the perspective that you hold and try to restructure so that you will have the same perspective of relationship. Please make sure the moment you start dating, make sure you get somebody who is going to counsel you on the issue of premarital counseling, because without counseling you may get into a relationship and you're still sick. Remember, you have to heal before you deal. Please, I have said, do not make these 3 mistakes. Number one, the mistake number 1 is to marry a person who is not your friend. Mistake number 2 that you can commit in a dating relationship is to get into a relationship without clarity on when you are going to get married. Mistake number 3 that you can make is to start a relationship and continue the relationship without seeing a premarital counselor or the pastor who understands the issue of premarital counseling. Thank you very much for listening to me. Please, I pray that you don't make that mistake. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel. If you are new, please subscribe to support this ministry. I know you love this message. I know I have helped you. I want you also to help me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Let's meet next week.